you can.
Are you upload them to Facebook?
Yeah, I'll put it on Facebook as well. I'm not certain how to do that either, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. If you're watching it, I figured it out. All right. We need to find the average for these 8 values. Now, finding the average is not too hard. You add them all together, you divide by 8, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. But then you got to go back and find the standard deviation. And depending on how you found the average, that's either going to be really easy or really hard. If your idea of finding the average consists of typing all those numbers in, pressing enter and hitting divide by 8, finding the standard deviation is very difficult. If, however, you do the correct thing, which is to go to Stat, Edit, and you type all those numbers into L1, 25, 39, 25, 95, 87, 37, 62, 62. If you do that, then you'll press what? Stat, Calc, and you'll get the average, right? So what we're going to do is go ahead and, we'll paste that right there so we can have it. Okay. Now, what are we doing? We're testing the claim that what?
It's less than 65. If the population
Test the claim. There's your 3 key words, right? What comes after that becomes really important. We're testing the claim that the mean is less than 65. Again, not testing whether X bar is less than 65. I don't need any sophisticated statistician to tell me whether X bar is less than 65. All you got to do is go over there and look at it and go, yes, it is. Okay? It reminds me of that lady who wanted me to be an expert witness. I said, what am I testifying about? She's like, I need you to testify that 7 divided by 15 is this percentage. And I thought, you're going to pay me to come do that? Are you serious? We can get a 5th grader to do that. You don't need somebody to testify that this is less than 65. Hell, it says it right there. This is the underlying question that we're interested in. Is the mean less than 65? Is that going to be HO or H1? It's going to be H1. And why do we know it's H1? Because HO must have what? HO must have an equal sign. Very good. Now, part B says we got to do what? Draw a picture. This is 0.05 again, right? Now, what's our critical value? Don't tell me 1.645. Now you have to race. No. Go. I don't know. It's on the T-score chart. Go look at the T-score chart. Go look at the T-score chart, and we will find. All right. So, picking up our discussion, we're talking about having to use the T-score chart. We know that this is 0.05, and this is the area in one tail. So if we go to our T-score chart, now you'll find a T-score chart located in the very back of your book on that last little page. If you flip over to the very back cover, the back cover is the Z-score chart. The page before the back cover is the T-score chart. Or if you look on page 754 in your book, you'll see it. Now, degrees of freedom is always, for this course, n-1, right? So we had 8, so we're down to 7. So immediately we're on this column here. Okay? Immediately we know that we're in this column here. Okay? Now, what are we going to look at? Well, what we have here is the area in one tail. The area in one tail is 0.05. Okay? So, the area in one tail is 0.05. So that's the column we're going to be in. And people say, what about 2 tails? Well, we don't have 2 tails, so we ain't worried about that. Okay, one tail, 0.05 coming down. Degrees of freedom is 7. So we're at 1.895. Now, as I type that in, I'm going to type that in as what? Negative 1.895, right? Negative 1.895. Now, part C says you got to know the formula, yes? So I'll write the formula right here. T equals x bar minus mu over s divided by the square root of n. And that would need to be memorized. Why?
It's awful.
I think it's great. I mean, it does kind of like you want to major in statistics, doesn't it?
No, I said that's why you majored it, because you think it's great.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it was so cool you wanted to do it. I'm like, yes, that's how I got
My
hooked.
husband's like, he loves it. I don't know why he just loves it.
54 minus 65 divided by 26.98. Ooh, what's wrong with what I did here? Didn't put the parentheses. You're going to get a jacked up answer if you do that.
Oh, he rounded it.
Don't blame me, Sean.
I'm not blaming you.
Square root of n.
I had 26.976 and I'm like 26.98.
What'd you get? Negative 1.15?
I don't know. I didn't do it. I just had it all written out. I hadn't got to doing it yet. So whatever you come up with, I know it's going to be right.
If only my wife and kids would agree with y'all. I mean, I swear.
When it comes to this, I'm not going to argue with you.
All right. 54 minus 65 divided by 26.98 over the square root of 8. Negative 1.15. Now, where does negative 1.15 fall? Negative 1 point, not in the shaded area, right? So what does that mean?
Failed to reject it.
Part E means we failed to reject. Now, if I failed to reject, what am I saying about HO?
False. Oh, wait.
Failed to reject means HO is true. H1 is false. Okay. Now, which one's my claim? H1 is the claim. That's the claim. So what are we saying about the claim? Are we agreeing with it or are we disagreeing with it? We disagree with it, right? So at a 0.05 level of significance, there is not sufficient evidence to support the claim that mu is less than 65. Part G, see this sheet I gave you.